From Canada's men's national team, the local boy, Michael Petrasso. Michael, welcome.
Hey, thank you, guys.
Hey, it's appreciated. Really enjoy having you on here tonight, Michael, after a hot training session. But let's talk about, first and foremost, let's go back to the Gold Cup. What an experience it was for you, Michael. And I had Coach Zambrano on a few weeks ago, and we discussed you and the position that he played you in. I was shocked that he played you in that position, but you really flourished and you embraced it. Talk about it when he first approached you, Michael, that you were going to play that position that you really weren't used to.
Well, he called me before he brought me to the camp to tell me that he was going to bring me in and look at me at that position. He said that I think he could suit my game. And he brought me in and I started training there. And Paul Stalteri helped me out a lot in the first week of pre-camp, giving me like advice on like defending and formation and stuff like that. And then they kind of just gave me the free will on the attacking side because I am a winger. So they said like to do both sides of the game, and they just kind of showed me the guidelines for the defensive side. And yeah, actually I really enjoyed it. I'm not gonna lie, playing there, and I feel like you know, I can attack and defend, which is like good things to have. And I feel like yeah, it was a great experience, and I enjoyed playing the position, and hopefully I can keep playing there.
Michael, it seemed like Canada made a statement this last Gold Cup to some of the heavy hitters in CONCACAF, Honduras, Costa Rica, and even Jamaica. How important is that now moving forward in this new journey, this new chapter for Canada under Zambrano and a young player like yourself to show the rest of CONCACAF that Canada will no longer be a pushover?
Yeah, well, we achieved good getting to the quarterfinals. And we played well in our quarterfinal game, and I thought we should have gone to the semis. So we're a bit disappointed in that. But I think we want to achieve more than that, and I think the coaches, Tavio is on that as well. He believes that we can achieve more than just qualifying to the quarters, and I think the team is willing to push, and hopefully we can, in the upcoming years, you know, our goal obviously as a nation is to qualify for the World Cup. So I think that in the upcoming years, you know, we'll work on that, and I think we have a bright future ahead, especially with all the youth that were playing in the Gold Cup. You know, there's a lot of young players that were playing, which have a lot of years, you know, to develop, and I think we can continue to grow. So,
Michael,
it was a great experience for us. So,
absolutely, Michael. For the first time in a long time, I've been following this national team since maybe too long, 45 years plus. For the first time in a long time, I noticed in that Gold Cup there was a harmony amongst the players, the coaching staff. Everyone was bonding together, banding together. There was no one that had any, you know, personal agendas or put themselves ahead of the team. It was a team-first mentality. Was that something that Coach Zambrano instilled in you guys as a group before the tournament, or was that something that you guys just started to organically build as the tournament went on?
No, I think he established that going to a tournament that, you know, in training sessions you can earn your place to play, and he gave every player on the team belief that they could play. And you could see in the games, you know, the rotations and the players that were taken out and put in, and I think the team just adapted to that well. Like whether you weren't playing or not playing, you knew that the next game, like your ability or your like trait that you have was going to be used. Octavio would use it to advance, and I think that that's what was good about the team. I think that everybody was fighting for a spot, but everybody together, you know, like whether you weren't playing or not playing, like we were all on a run. I think we were all on a high going throughout the tournament, especially after our first game. And I think that was good. And then throughout the tournament, I think we grew as a team, especially we were together for 3 weeks. So I think there was a lot of bonding going on with the team, and everybody was together. And yeah, honestly, the Gold Cup was a great experience. And no, I'm still disappointed that we didn't get through in Jamaica, because I think going into that game, I think the team was confident and we were well focused to get through. And you know, it's a bit disappointing result, but we accomplished a lot that tournament, and I think we can still grow from it.
Michael, talk about your experience overseas. You've grown in leaps and bounds. You keep developing. You keep opening up eyes. Other clubs we know are really getting more and more interested in trying to lure you to their clubs, higher name clubs that I've heard of. Talk about you know, your adjustment, your lifestyle from Canada that you grew up in to now in Europe, where it's football crazed, the calcio crazed, where you can't walk around I know this from Italy in the local coffee in the cafe shops after a loss because they'll chew you out. Talk about how different it is from Canada and the lifestyle you're living now.
Well, England is one of the main countries for football, and it's literally live, breathe football. And I moved there when I was 16, and I think I've grown as a player coming from there. Especially when QPR were in the Prem and stuff like that, we had some unbelievable World Cup players that were on the team, and training them with them every day. Kind of, you just learn and you develop, and I think that was a good thing to have training at QPR for the last 6 years. I think they've made me the player I am today, so I'm grateful for that. And yeah, I don't know. I guess England it's like on a Saturday, game day on a Saturday, and all the teams play at 3:00, but none of the games are televised. So only way you can watch a game is for the fans to come to the stadium, and every stadium is rammed. And it's just more of like the passion, like the fans, like opposite fans, like they just hate each other. And I guess the team feels the same because like your fans get on you when you're losing, your fans get on, like they're on a high when you're winning. So going into the games, it's literally, it's like do or die every game, and it feels like that on the field because everything's just exciting. And I think that's like player-wise, like the players feel that, so they put pressure on you when you're not doing well, and they support you when you're doing well. And they, even when you're not doing well, like they're hard on you, but at the same time, they're only hard on you because they want you to develop better. I think it's just kind of I know England's like in England, the main sport is football, so I think it was a learning curve when I first moved. I developed to it, and I developed to the whole harshness of the game. But I've still to this day, it was one of the best decisions I believe making my move to England.
And let's talk about that.
I've learned a lot.
And let's talk about that, Michael. Coming home here now, it's going to be great to play in front of family and friends. You'll play the Reggae Boys on the weekend and at BMO Field, and it'll be great to have family and friends come out to support you and all of Team Canada. But you mentioned you left here as a young teenager to go overseas, but I'm sure the time that you spent here, the many years that you did until you left, there was coaches that helped get where you're at. There was parents and siblings and what have you that stuck by you. And that's got to mean a lot to you. And especially now, wearing that Canadian jersey like you're going to do Saturday, it's got to mean a lot. And the emotions that are going through you, describe them.
Yeah, well, coming into this camp, when I got the call, my goal was to play on a Saturday because it's my first time playing at BMO Field at home. And obviously when you get called to the camp, all your friends and family and my aunts, uncles, all that stuff want to come to the game, so you get them all the tickets. So, like, I've been dying to play Saturday. Like, literally all I've been thinking about all week is the game, because, like, all my friends and family will be watching. And coaches, yeah, like you said, like, developed, like, when I was here, when I was a kid, like, my dad and my uncle, they coached me from literally when I was a little boy, 4 years old, to all the way to about 15, 16, when I moved to TFC in the academy. And who had a great influence on me on TFC was Danny Dickhill. He really looked after me, and he taught me a lot as well when I was young. And that was my first kind of like professional club. So yeah, those are the people that I'm sure they'll be at the game as well. All my family will be at the game.
Michael, just before.
So I'm excited about that.
Outstanding. Michael, just before we let you go, when you were overseas and you're 17 and 18, and the training that you had to go through, the mindset, the schedule, very little time that you had yourself personally. It was, I'm sure, training, schooling, game, on and on. What's the advice that you would give to some of the young Canadian lads here now that are 13, 14, 15, 16, that are thinking to make that move to Portugal, England, Italy, Spain, you name it? What's the advice that you would give to them? What did you learn that maybe you wish you would have did a bit more of here in Canada to prepare yourself there when you got there?
Well, my advice for moving over is, it all seems exciting, playing in Europe, and, we watch on TVs when we're young. We watch, Man United, AC Milan, and all the teams and stuff like that. But when you move over, it gets hard right away. It gets difficult because you're in a foreign country, and you're with players, and this is a job. It becomes a job when you get to a certain age, when you get to 17, 18. It becomes, because everybody's fighting to make a living, and everybody's fighting to play in the team. There's only 11 spots in the team. And even though when it gets hard and, you miss home or, you're not playing, stuff like that, there's moments where you think like, like maybe this is, you just have to stick through it because there's a time that'll come when you succeed. and it'll be one of the greatest feelings in the world. I think that going into it now, when you're a kid, when you're a little kid, you need to work hard every single day, because there are moments when you go over there and you'll do well and then you won't do well. But if you stick through it now and you focus, even when you're having a bad game, when you're like 9, 10 years old, and you get into the car and you're all upset, disappointed, the next day you just do better. And then I think that that's how players succeed when they move abroad. And that's my advice to all the kids that are listening. So.
Outstanding. Michael, very quickly before we let you go, I was so happy to see guys like Scott Arfield, Alphonso Davies, guys that wanted to play for Canada, Junior Hoylett, guys that want to wear that Canadian jersey and represent the country I love. I've always said this, Michael, and I'll say it to you. And in my house, if there ever were a time and day that Italy were to play Canada in a World Cup game, in my house, there would be no Azzurri jerseys at all. They would be all Canadian, because we are born here, we live here, and this is our country. And it's so great to see these players commit to Canada. What do you want to say to some of the players that are still out there that might be thinking, hey, I really don't want to go to Canada and play for them, even though, I was born there, or one of my parents were born there. What do you want to say to them to convince them to come to this new project, to come along this journey that is so important for young Canadians to look up to?
I want to say that Canada is a great country, and I'm literally honored to play for this country. And the fans support us, and I think we're on a high now, and I think we're on the way up. And I think the players out there that are debating and stuff and debating where to play for or not to play, I think playing for a national team is literally one of the blessings that every football player should have, because playing for your country is literally an honor, and everybody at home watches the games whether you think it or not. And I think that if you had the choice to play for Canada, I would do it. And I think, as you can see, Scott Arfield, Junior Hoylett, these are world-class players that play Premier League, Championship. And I think that when they've come to Canada, you can see them at things. They're passionate about it. And even like Scott Arfield, like Scottish, Canadian, he literally would die to win a game for Canada. So I think that playing for a country is a blessing. And I think that the players out there that are still debating whether they should play or not should come through and give it a chance. So.
Outstanding. Michael, good luck Saturday. It's going to be great to see you out there in front of family and friends. And again, thank you so much for making time. Thank you for playing for the country that you love, Canada, and I love. It's vitally important the youngsters watch and see this, because we need the next generation, this generation, to get us to a World Cup so we can smile and we can enjoy some of those games. Again, congratulations, Michael, and enjoy the moment Saturday, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on.